insists on running our cones over and coming out and throwing our cones like a little pit thrower. He goes, "I'll be watching." I said, "What'd you say?" He said, "I'll be watching." I'm like, all right. Here we are up in Ballard. Got a 13-foot deep trench out on 24th. Doing a sewer line tap. As you can see, it is wet and muddy and deep, because that's what we do. We do the hard, deep, wet, nasty stuff. It's going to be 12 apartments on this site. And then the interesting thing is the neighbor's sidewalk is cantilevered over these rockery rocks, but the rockery rocks were protruding onto the property line, so I had to put the bull prick or jackhammer on the end of the excavator and jackhammer off some rocks underneath the neighbor's sidewalk on the property line. So I jackhammered there, jackhammered all those out, jackhammered the shit out of that, but did no damage to the sidewalk. Good job, boys. Getting her all shored up for the night so we can put steel plates on her. Toss her up. Here she comes. All right, careful getting out of there, Alex. All right, we're about that time to start throwing steel sheets on the roadway, rotor and hammer in and pins, putting some easy street around it, and we'll be good to go. Spin it! Spin it! Yep. We might need some dunnage in that corner where that fin forms up. Right up against the curb. Pull it up tight, Dale. Okay. Yeah, you can pull it up against the curb for sure there. There it is. There she is. Hold up, back a little, Dale. Come up against it. Come towards Jimmy. Go left. There you go. That's it. Unhook it. So we're covering the trench up for the night. Waiting for our core tap in the morning. It's a 12-foot trench box right there. And that's what's called speed shoring in there. Those boards are called fin forms, and those are hydraulic jacks that you pump up until they get into the green, which means they got enough pressure on them to hold. Those are railroad spikes that we drill into the ground, so we hold the plates in place. So when big buses and stuff come over them, they don't move. That's it. I got a great crew here. These guys are a well-oiled machine. With 6 minutes to spare, getting off the road at 3 o'clock. We've got plates down, pinned, easy street, aka cold mix, down for the cars. We got the sidewalk. Oh, good job, you guys, on the bulkhead and the fin form for the sidewalk. Excellent. Whose idea was that? Dale's, Jimmy's, yours? Jimmy. Traffic control people run a little bit late. Supposed to be off the road by 3. She called and said she's running about 15 minutes late. So I'm not gonna pull all their shit if they're just running that a little bit late. So we'll just do our final cleanup, make sure our site's tight, looks good. Because I'll tell you what, the neighbors, these people right there, when we were demoing the house, that guy was watching us like a hawk, had a pair of goggles on. I don't know why the fuck he had that on. A pair of ski goggles. And he came down and we literally touched one of the fence boards over there, and it popped the bottom out, just the nail, about a half inch. And he came down and said, "You got one of the fence boards, you got one of the fence boards." And I said, "Well, would I break it?" And I walked over and he said, "No." I said, "Well, I'll just tap the nail back in." He goes, "I'll be watching." I said, "What'd you say?" And he said, "I'll be watching." I'm like, all right. And then the neighbor next to him, for some reason, doesn't understand that we are permitted down this traffic control and says we can't close the road in front of his place. And even though our guys have nicely told him twice that we'll move the cones for him if he wants to give us a little honk, and he insists on running our cones over and coming out and throwing our cones like a little pit thrower. And the funny thing is not 2 or 3 years ago, there was an old house just like the one was sitting here, was sitting there, and they had to tear it down, and they had to do dirt work, and they had to do utilities just like we are. This guy says he's a rocket scientist, can't understand the fucking fact that this was just like that a few years ago. The house he's living in, they had to do the exact same stuff that we're doing here, but he's all butthurt about this happening next door to him. It's just like, you know, I just try and be as nice as I can to him. There's no point in looking at him just saying you're an absolute idiot. So that just wouldn't get us anywhere. So that's why we clean up as good as we do. I guess to get back to the point is I want to just keep our site so there's no issues. Nobody can make any complaints. And that's just how we roll.